Welcome to a PICO project DIY video session. Today we're going to guide you in building your very own barrel garden or 3D barrel garden, whichever you'd like to call it. You could purchase a pre-made set of these from the Garden Tower project, which will look a little nicer and saves you some time and energy. But after watching this short video, you see how for a fraction of that price, you can make your very own. Benefits of acquiring these barrel gardens include space and water efficiency, a built-in vermicompost system that directly nourishes your plants and vegetables. The barrels also allow easy accessibility for disabled and elderly who wish to participate in gardening. And best of all, you can continue to reuse the barrels for seasons to come, ensuring a healthy, nutritious option for you and your family. Let's get started. So your first step would be getting your 55-gallon barrel drum. These usually come in blue or white. Brand new, these barrels range from $70 to $100. If you could get them used and donated, that'd be the best option. Sometimes these barrels hold syrup or some other type of chemical, so it's always best to make sure to clean the inside before you start these projects. Other supplies you'll need include a jigsaw, a drill with a half and quarter drill bit. You're going to want a butane torch, some silicone. You're going to want as many 2x4s with an angle at the end. The more the better, the faster you'll be able to complete this project. You're going to want some markers. You're going to need a measuring tape. You're going to also want a thin cardboard guide marked at 2 inches, 5 inches, and 6 inches. I just used a postcard envelope. It was very easy to bend around the barrel. These measurements can change depending on what kind of plants you'll be putting in your barrel. You're also going to want a 4-inch wide irrigation pipe at 40 inches long. That was the size of mine. It's sticking out about 2 inches from the bottom, and that would be for your worm compost. You're going to want a bottom plug for the pipe so you could drain the water at any time, and you're going to want a top cap for the pipe as well. And now you're ready to begin the project. This project is very lenient on sizes, measurements, and widths of the holes you're going to be making. So it really depends on you and what kind of plants you're going to want to be putting into these barrels. So the one I came out with was 5 offset layers, 9 to 10 holes per layer, and 50 plants a barrel. Start 6 inches up from the bottom and then mark your first point. From the first point, make a 6-inch line to the left and mark it with another point at that end, and then make an indent of 2 inches in between. This is going to be the space in between each slot you're making. You're going to want to do 5-inch to 6-inch long measurements, and this is where you would be using your envelope with your pre-measured distances. So 6 inches would be the height between each hole, and it'll also be the length of each hole, which made it a little easier that way. But you could also make them 5 inches. I wouldn't suggest making them smaller than that. This is what it looks like at the end when you have them all measured, and it's okay to make mistakes. I've made a couple, and this project is very lenient on mistakes, and if you need to make any changes, feel free to do this at this step, because once you make a hole, there's no going back. Next step would be to drill holes at the end of each line, like so. After all your holes are drilled out, you'll have space to put the jigsaw in and cut straight lines on the black lines you've made, like so. After all your lines are cut, the next step will be to individually heat each pocket so you can mold them. What you want to do is heat a pill shape with your burner around the line that you've cut, and once it's ready, you enter the 2x4 with the slanted edge down, molding it to the shape. This is the most time-consuming step because it takes 15 minutes for each pocket to set and mold. That's why the more 2x4s you have, the faster you'll be able to mold these pockets in layers. Once you have your pockets opened up, you can now install the worm tube that goes inside the middle of the barrel. I had bought this irrigation pipe for about $20 for 10 feet, and we're only using 40 inches, so if you're doing more than one of these, it'd be a perfect solution for 2 barrels. This irrigation pipe already did come with holes, but I decided to drill just a bit more so the worms had more room to travel in between. Next, I placed a tube where I want the hole at the bottom, and then I drew a circle around it with the marker. Then you drill a hole in the middle and cut out little pipe pieces with your jigsaw until you have your circle. Now, the reason why you wouldn't want your tube coming up too far at the bottom, you want to be able to have a barrel under there to collect the overflow and any dirt that you have when you open up your compost tube. This would be the plug that you have at the bottom to release any of the built up compost or worms castings that you have. And this is the one that you'll have at the top. I decided to cut holes at the top cap so that the worms could have more airflow coming from the top of the barrel. This next step isn't necessary, but it creates a nice seal. So you'd want to let that silicone seal at least for a day. Once that's done, your barrel will be ready to be filled up. Check out our next DIY video session and more content from the P.I.C.O project by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Stay updated on all our events and latest news by visiting our website at www.thepicoproject.org and add us on our social media pages. Thanks for watching and supporting the P.I.C.O project.